Live, Studio 1A, right outside Grand Central Station in beautiful New York City, we have the Colbert Report with your host with the most, RJ Cole. Wait a second. Where is everyone? How are we supposed to have a show without a crowd? What? The COVID-19? Are you kidding me? Or damn it, just alright, hold on. He told you he was doing it from home? Damn, hold on. Hello? Hello? Am I on? I'm on. Okay. Welcome everybody to the first ever Colbert Report. Now, I'm sorry about the miscommunication there. We're not in grandstand, great New York City, where I normally do my show. I'm sitting here porchside in beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee, doing my very first Colbert Report from home. And you say, why am I having to do it from home? Why can you not be in the studio where you belong? The reason I can't is because of the COVID-19. This damn disease, this damn pandemic is going to change this world, and it is changing the broadcasting as we know it. So you know what? Sometimes we have to adjust. So let me be the first one to welcome you guys to the first ever Colbert Report. Now you see, normally I have never done this in SWA. The last time that you've seen me, I was in Pro Wrestling Asylum as the PWA World Heavyweight Champion. And now I bring it to the main stage to you guys. Now you ask, why am I doing this? You know, I've been commenting, I've been talking about how I was going to finally get the one-on-one interview that everyone has been wanting, that everybody has been needing. And guess what? After biting and fighting, I finally got the man that you all wanted to hear from. And that is the man, Ralph Swagger. But you know what? Before I get to Ralph Swagger, it's time to talk about Independence Day. Now, guys, as you can see, I am already red, white, and blue. And I am red, white, and blue, and I'm ready for Independence Day. And I know everybody else is too. So, before I get on to the interview with Ralph Swagger, I figured I might go through the actual card and go through each of these matches and just show you exactly how iconic and how explosive this pay-per-view is going to be. At the beginning of the night at Independence Day, this Saturday, at Independence Day, we have a tornado tag match where it has Jackson Daniels and Psycho Steve facing off against the newly added Manitar and Rockstar. Now you see, these four men are going to have a chance to start this pay-per-view out with a bang. And they, I know, are going to do exactly that. The tensions are high in the sky. After Battle Zone, anything can happen. And that is exactly what is going to happen. Because at Battle Zone as well, we had Savage win a #1 contendership match for the SWA Women's Championship. And now, for the first time ever, Susie Spitz is going to be facing off against Savage in an SWA Women's Championship match as the second match of the night. Second match. Now, I can already hear it now. I can already hear Mad Dog in the background talking about, oh, I wish she could spit on me. Well, guess what? You'll have your chance, because I'm pretty sure that Savage is going to knock the spit directly out of Susie Spitz's mouth. And you know what? You know what I have to say about that? My pick is on Savage to take home the gold. You know, after all of that, we have a bloodbath. We have a bloodbath. It is the red, white, and bleed match, ladies and gentlemen. It is the match between the original voice of SWA, Brendan Pickett, and the Hangman himself, Caleb Thorne, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that everybody knows. He always comes with a fight and always comes and draws blood. And that is exactly what those two men are going to do in that match. What a better way to do Independence Day than going red, white, and blue. But I digress. Speaking of Battlezone earlier, in the main event of the Scramble match, in an awe-inspiring match where 5 men went toe-to-toe, including myself, a mix-up and a surprise that surprised the nation happened. Jake Prince came back to SWA, and all it took was a little whisper, and the man Rick Air, that you know and love as your boss, went out just like that. And who arose? Judas. And in a surprise, you would figure that Judas was going to attack Glenn Sexton or was going to attack me. But in the end, he punted Larry Walker in the head. And in the end, I rolled over and pinned Glenn Sexton 1, 2, 3 and retained my World Heavyweight Championship. The tensions were high before Independence Day, and the tension just got even better because at Independence Day, it is going to be Larry Walker versus off against Judas in a buried alive match. Now, I'm not sure exactly who I think is going to win that match. It's a coin toss. But I do know one thing. Before Battlezone, I had never been in the ring with Judas. And looking into the eyes of Judas, you already know that there is no way that he is going to be buried beneath the dirt without taking somebody with him. My pick in that match, I don't know. All I know is that it is going to be monumental. And now we go further on into the night, the co-main event of the night. We have Mad Dog himself, the man who has been talking crap about me ever since I became the champion. We have Mad Dog, and we have Thomas Walker Jr. We have the War Machine going to face off against the man that took, the man that I gave the Heritage Championship to, and a mystery opponent, Glenn Sexton. Now you see, there's been feud upon feud upon feud between me and Sexton. We have been going at it for months. We've been going at it for months, and all the talk and all of the fighting. And guess what? Yours truly is going to be guest commentating for that match right there, so I can be up and close and personal with my opponent, because after he goes against War Machine and Mad Dog in the main event for the first time ever, the SWA World Heavyweight Championship and the SWA Heritage Championship will be defended in the same match. Champion versus champion match. Icon versus icon match. Face versus wannabe face. RJ Colbert versus Glenn Sexton. For the first time ever. Title versus title match. We've got a kicker, though. The interview that I told you that we needed to have and that we wanted to have, the reason that we need the interview is because for the first time ever, Ralph Swagger takes off his wrestling clothes and puts on a referee shirt for the first time ever. As Ralph Swagger, the number one contender for the SWA Heritage title, gets to choose basically who he wants to face as he refs the monumental and the first time ever match. And now you know what? I'm getting note that we're going to go into the recording. We're going to go into the one-on-one interview. It was recorded yesterday. Because of the COVID, we had to do things a little differently. We're going to go to the one-on-one interview right now. All right, everybody. I want to a big welcome to Ralph Swagger, the man who is going to be reffing the title versus title match at the pay-per-view, at the Independence Day pay-per-view. Welcome, Ralph.
Thank you, RJ. How you doing today?
Doing all right. I've been working out, trying to make sure that I'm ready for the match, trying to make sure mentally that I'm ready for the match, and of course dealing with the dipshits, Hicks, and dealing with Mad Dog, and dealing with Glenn Sexton's always fun. Them loud ass pieces.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But I wanted to bring you on here. First off, I wanted to bring you on here, and I wanted to say congratulations. First off, congratulations on becoming the number one contender to the Heritage Championship.
Well, thank you, RJ. I mean, this is something that like when I first came in this company, that's what I was aiming for, and with everything that's going on, hopefully everything would be good for me to take that title whenever when I get that opportunity. I know it's going to be coming up after this after Independence Day.
Right. How do you feel that your tenure here in SWA has been going? Me and you go way back. We go back to PWA, we go back to other companies, and whenever I first entered into this company, you were one of my first matches. And how do you think your tenure here in SWA has been going so far into this new year?
Well, be honest with you, I mean, if you take away anything that the air has been doing. I mean, my tenure here has been fine. I mean, if you look at the outer SWA territories, I've been currently champion about two or three of them. I mean, unfortunately, one's not even in business, but I done held my own pretty good, and basically, even in my twilight, I should say, I'm experiencing a resurgence that I haven't seen within the last 2 or 3 years.
When I watched your match at the pay per view, I watched your match, and it was like a spark. It was like a spark ignited in you, like you said, and it looked like you really, really wanted it. It was like you were serious.
Yeah, because I mean, over the past few years, it seemed like I've just been going from company to company, maybe get a good run here and there, but SWA seems to be have re-sparked me. It's kind of given me that um, resurgence that I haven't felt since I actually first entered this business back in 2011. And if I can get back to how I was between 2012 to 2015, no one's gonna stop me. No one.
Well, it's good to hear those words. I was thinking, you know, uh, I was wanting to ask you how do you feel this being the first time since the end of last year? How do you feel mentally coming into your number one contendership match with you being this being the first time you being in the contendership for the Heritage Championship since you and I fought off against it in December?
Well, now in December when we fought and I didn't win it, I did feel a little depressed by it, but I did not let that hamper me because I know sometimes when I get depressed, I will fall off the planet like like the flat Earth people that think the world is flat. But while I just did was just kept my nose on the grindstone, kept on working, even when SWA kind of closed up for a while. When it came back, I just put myself in that mindset to where whatever I had to do to get back on track to be in contention for the Heritage Championship, I was going to do. Basically, putting me in a street fight was the medicine I needed. I mean, it didn't matter how many people was in the matchup. It was just a street fight that put me right in my wheelhouse, and I did what. And hey, I did what I do when I'm in my wheelhouse. I'm comfortable. I wreaked havoc. I took out Psycho Steve. I took out Rockstar. Right now, I'm just sitting in the catbird seat, waiting for that mouse to come across the floor. And what happens? Gonna get pounced on. Gonna get torn apart.
I totally understand where you're coming from. Whenever they put me into a hardcore match, no matter how many times I get hit with a chair, no matter how many times I get beat down, it just fuels me even more. So I know exactly what you mean. And
Hmm.
talking about the Heritage Championship, what do you think about our new Heritage Champion, Glenn Sexton? He's really a loudmouth, and he really thinks that his he earned his shot, and he earned his championship. And like I already told him, and I told the whole world, when you got the SWA championship waiting on you in the finale, waiting on you in the main event, your mind's only going to be set on one thing, and that's the bigger prize. So when me and him entered that cage match, I had to make sure that I was going to be rearing and gearing to go for the SWA championship. So now he thinks that just because he beat me for the Heritage Championship, he's going to beat me for the World Heavyweight Championship as well. What are your thoughts on our new Heritage Champion?
Well, he is kind of how you can say a person that thinks everything got handed to him. Maybe the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, I already heard him say that I should choose him in the matchup because he would take me to another level, and you would keep me just flat on the ground. What Sexton don't realize is I've been to that other level many times, and as far as me and you go, I already know we'll tear the house down just by ourselves. They can fight out the parking lot. We can have the stadium, and we'll still blow it off the damn roof, and they'll be sitting there wondering what's going on in there. Shoot, one hell of a match. But as Sexton, Sexton, I never heard of him. I don't know him from a can of paint. I'm pretty sure he is a great competitor. He did win the championship. But as you said, you had that SWA championship match coming up next. So save your energy. I see. I see. I saw you working on that. Like you got a chance to win the top prize. Yeah, you're gonna hold a little. You're gonna hold a little back. So I know you didn't go all out in when you and Sexton went up against each other because I know if you did, it would have been you and you would have had both belts already. He wouldn't even be a part of it.
Hell, it was only 3-4 minutes long.
You know
That
what I
was
mean?
it. I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
knowing me, you know that there is no way in the world that I would go down in 4 minutes. There's no way, especially if I was at my game, making sure that there was no way that he was going to get my championship. There's no way that it would have went down in 4 minutes. I don't care who you are. You can be the biggest man on the roster. You can be the smallest man on the roster. When it comes down to it, a championship is a championship, and you're sure as hell not going to beat me 4 minutes.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's not gonna happen. I never seen it happen, and I don't think I ever will see it happen. Not against you. No.
So I want to veer off for a second. I want to ask you. Back in December, you were talking about how you wanted you were a little down after losing to me, and it was a one-on-one for the vacant Heritage Championship, and in the end, although I didn't ask for it, Rick Air decided to get into our match and ended up costing you the match, and ended up, the way they say it, handed me what I was given. So now I'm being considered as the man who's being given everything, just like Glenn Sexton's been saying it to me. Between you and I, in that time, right now, do you feel that there's any tension between you and I? And if you and I were to face for the Heritage Championship, do you believe between then and now that the outcome will be different this come around?
This time around, yeah, I do think that because you just said it right there. You hit the nail on the coffin. Fucking Rick Air. I mean, he comes in. I understand this is company, this is baby, but to just sit there and do as you please, pick who you want. Nothing against you, Colbert. Nothing against you at all, because I already know what type of individual you are. But for him to sit there and ruin a good match like that, you're damn right I felt screwed. That's why I was more depressed. I mean, if I just lost you straight up, even if you would have did a let's say cheap shot or whatever, I can look at myself and like, okay, he couldn't beat me. He had to go to alternative motors to do it. But then to have the owner of the company come in and do it, that's what it really kind of set me into the little depression. But this time I didn't let it bother me as much as I want as it could have because I know that once I get back on my feet, Rick Air, the Air family, and the rest of the people in this SWA gonna find out how cold I am, how cold blooded I can be. Because one thing about me, if I go back to how I was when I was, a little bit younger, and I was just green, I was just starting off. Like I told them, SWA would be a totally different place.
I could see it. I could see it. All right. Well, I guess let's get down to the question at hand then.
All right.
My question to you is, do you think that you can be impartial in this match? And also, at the end of the match, after one, two, three, the hand comes down for the third, the bell rings, and the championship is held out. Who, in your eyes, would you rather face? Would you rather face me again and me and you have a squash match for the match that was stolen from you and the Heritage Championship that was stolen from you? Or would you rather have a match with Glenn Sexton, a man that you've never fought before and who is cocky enough to think that he is going to take you to higher ranks, and he undermines you thinking that you need to be taken to the higher rank in the first place?
Well, first of all, I'm going into that match, into y'all match at Independence Day as an official. There's gonna be the the competitor, is not gonna be interfering in the match. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna have my striped shirt on. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be impartial, and whoever turns out to get the win, the one, two, three, they're gonna be the one I face. Personally,
This is your first time being
yeah.
a ref, isn't it?
First time in SWA. It's a
Yeah.
rare that me for me to be an in ring official. That enforcer thing. That's one thing. But actually being having the stripes on and calling a match. Yeah, it's something different. But I am gonna be fair. Like I said, I'm being fair and impartial. There ain't gonna be no how you say Colbert influence. There will be no Rich Sexton influence. There's gonna be one influence, and the influence that I make. Because me, to be personally, I'll stand in the corner and let y'all beat the hell out of each other. And at the end, whoever the last man standing win. But they got to be a pinfall. So I will do that. I will make a pinfall, or I will check to see if someone ain't been laid out or choked out or passed out with a submission move. To be
Well, I'm
honest,
gonna go.
I'm gonna just say it like this. I know old Sexton might be a little bit upset about it, but yeah, I want it to be you because we have unfinished business, and I want to take care of that soon as possible.
This would be the first match that you and I have been in since that match as well. You and I have been on the opposite sides of the spectrum since that match occurred. So I think
Yeah,
that it would be very, very intriguing to see you and I go off in the squared circle one more time.
I feel the same way. I really do. But like I said, I'm going to that impartial. But after the match, and after the bell rings, I'm no longer a ref. So whatever happens after the match happens. I'm gonna let you know that. I'm gonna let Sexton know that. So I'm gonna do everything as a ref until the end of the match. Then which means you don't know what I may do, but I'll know one thing for certain: I will hold the man's hand up in victory, and then I cannot guarantee what will happen afterwards.
Well, everybody, I want to thank you again, Ralph Swagger, for the very first one-on-one in R.J. Colbert and Ralph Swagger, the very first one-on-one interview on the Colbert Report. I want to thank you again for coming on, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. After it's all said and done, may the best man win.
You're right. May the best man win. Thank you for having me on your show, and good evening.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, now.
Well, there you guys go. Some bold phrases, some bold words from an even bolder man as Ralph Swagger. I sat there and I asked him the questions that needed to be asked. I asked him about the past and I asked him about the future, and he did everything and told everything like a real man. Now, only time can tell now. Only time can tell. All we are is 4 days away. 4 days away, ladies and gentlemen, from Independence Day. One of the most sought out pay-per-views so far this year. One of the biggest holidays of the year, and normally one of the most explosive just because of the fireworks. But the real fireworks are going to be happening in that ring July 4th. If you haven't got your tickets yet, guess what? You can't because of COVID-19. But you know what? If you want, watch directly on the SWA station and watch as we make history one more time.